According to the specification on this, you have to put a light coating of lubricant on this. This is a cooking spray, something like WD-40 is not allowed. You just kind of get this down because you want it to be as clean as possible. And the tools that I'm going to use to reduce this sample size, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just put a little bit of that on there so that the asphalt won't stick. You can heat these tools. It's optional. You can heat them. But if you heat them, you shouldn't heat them any hotter than your mix. So now I'm going to go over to the oven. I'm going to get a sample out, and it'll be the same as if it came from the truck. When I get a sample from the truck, it's a minimum of 10 pounds. So here's my 10-pound sample right there. And what I'm going to do, it says you have to mix this a minimum of 4 times with a flat bottom scoop or something similar. And what I have learned over the years, that a piece of flat metal is probably about the best thing you can possibly use, because you can get under it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. And it leave a conical pile. Then you press it straight down. And it's supposed to be 4 to 8 times the diameter of the thickness. You can inspect this pile to see if it's homogeneous, and if it isn't, you remix. And that's what we'll do, because it had a coarse area. Do the same thing, bring it up, press it straight down. Then I'm going to quarter this sample, cut it in 2 this way and this way. Now I'm going to remove opposite quarters. And I'll put these back in the oven. And I'm going to keep this sample until everything's finished to make sure that everything runs right, and I've got the remainder of the sample if I need to rerun it. So now what I'm going to do is the same thing again. Remix, minimum of 4 times, make a conical pile, press it down, inspect it to make sure that it's homogeneous, quarter it, and this is a 9.5 millimeter mix. And a 9.5 millimeter mix, my minimum sample size is 1,200 grams, and I can go over by 500 grams. So my range is 1,200 to 1,700. So looking at my scale, and I have 1,475 grams. Is well within the range of what I'm looking for. And I can take the rest of this sample and I can put it back away because all I'm doing is a burn and a gradation on this. And again, I'm going to save this in case I need it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to burn this off in this asphalt content furnace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this basket on the scale and get the tare weight. All right, record that. So now what I'm going to do is put this sample in here, evenly distributed on the top and the bottom. Now, if this sample's allowed to cool off to where I can't spread it out, I need to put it back in the oven at 257 degrees for 30 minutes to where it's pliable again. And you're supposed to use a hot knife to spread this out with, not too hot. You just kind of want to hit it so stuff won't stick to it. Spread it out thinly across the whole bottom. Pull the material away from the edges, so if anything comes off, it'll hit the pan below. Do the same thing again. Just very light heat, just you don't want it to stick and you don't want this to be real hot. Spread it out. You see nothing stuck to anything. We got all of our samples in the basket. Put the basket back together. Tear that out. Reweigh the basket with the sample. All right, and that is 1,474 grams, which is what I had weighed to begin with. So you go over to the asphalt content furnace and you hit the weight button, enter 1,474, enter. And I always like to check to make sure that that's right. And the field or the correction factor for this, the oven correction factor, is a 0.28. So you go to calibration, 28, enter. And check that. 28, that's all good. All right, then you want to hit the 0. And you've got a 0 there. Now over here on this scale, where I weighed this entire basket, It weighs 4,463 grams. When I put that into this oven, I will have to be within 5 grams of that number. And the reason, if it's out more than that, it may be touching the side, or could even be something wrong with the scale. But it's got to be within 5 grams of the 4463. Open that. Place this in here. Make sure it's not touching the sides or the back. And all right there. And you see it weighs 4463 something there, 4463, which is exactly what it weighed there. So it's in great shape. You hit start, and it stays in there until all the asphalt's burned off. It'll give me a signal when it's done, and it'll spit the asphalt content right out to me. Okay, so after this is finished, it's going to give you an asphalt content of 5.12, which is good for this mix. You hit your stop button. You put on your safety goggles, safety mask, your gloves. Set this out. You cover it and you wait for it to cool.